Good morning to you. I'm Jeff Slakey. We are happy to have in studio from Mason Transit Authority, Christina Fremont. Good morning.
Good morning, Jeff.
Nice to see you.
Nice to see you, too. Missed you last week.
I had a great conversation with Christy Evans about Vanpooling.
Yeah.
Learned a lot, and it was pretty interesting to talk with her about that.
I'm glad she was able to come in because she is definitely the subject matter expert. She's the day-to-day coordinator of the I almost said volunteer. That's what I do. Vanpool program. What was the most interesting fact that you learned?
Well, I thought where the van sleeps at night.
Oh.
Because I didn't know if it went back to MTA, if it went to somebody's house, if it went to, because you see them in parking lots of major shopping areas under the lights and stuff.
Yeah.
I just wasn't sure how that worked out.
I wouldn't have thought that was the most interesting thing for you. Mine always is, like I said before, a couple weeks ago, the Guaranteed Ride Home program.
That was pretty cool.
But that's true. I guess I wouldn't think of somebody. I think, when you work in the industry every day, there are things that just become commonplace. And you still, as much as, especially in outreach, I try not to let myself get in a tunnel. It still happens.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. But that Guaranteed Ride Home was an interesting thing, too. Quickly, what was that for folks who may not have heard last?
Yeah, if you guys weren't listening last week or the week before, and all of this information is also on our website, masontransit.org. If you click on services and then go to Vanpool, there's information, and plus you can call us. But the Guaranteed Ride Home program is, for folks who may be worried about, ride sharing and then having an emergency during the day, maybe folks who have kids. It's like, well, how am I going to get to my kid when I have this shared van? Well, the Guaranteed Ride Home program guarantees you a ride in an emergency. Yeah. We're going to find you an alternative choice for transportation so that you can get those things taken care of. For me, that was always something I had never known. Even working in transit for the first couple of years, I think it wasn't until I was putting together some marketing materials and I was like, this makes sense. I'm glad we have this. Yeah.
And that could be a barrier, for someone. Well, you just never know.
Yep.
I just don't. I would hate to be on the Vanpool and then all of a sudden get a call.
Yeah.
Well, don't worry about it.
Yep, you don't need to worry about it. I think sometimes that's a perception challenge for a lot of folks, just for public transit in general, is this sense of a loss of freedom for immediacy, basically. I want to go do this right now. And when you have the privilege of having a vehicle and can afford to do that, it's like, oh, great. Okay, I'm going to get in my car and do that. But I think it's good to know that when you use public transit pretty regularly, something shifts in your mentality where all of a sudden this need for immediacy, it's not quite there as much. And time tends to change in your perception of time. And I say that just growing up on public transit, not just because I work in public transit, so I understand that perception. And I've lived both lifestyles, being transit dependent and then having my own car. And it's difficult to shift back from having your own car to public transit, but it's worth it. I really, truly think that, in the deepest parts of my heart, not just because I work for public transit. But I'm a book lover and I love reading, so I love the opportunity to be able to read, which leads me into yesterday, according to #SocialMediaWorld, it was National Book Lovers Day. I did look it up and there was a national calendar website that said it was a real thing. Okay. So, but you know how those things go sometimes.
It's the internet.
I'm going to say today's National Donut Day. All right, it's a thing.
It is a thing now today.
But I always appreciate the extra time for reading or just staring out a window when I'm on the bus. And a random little fact for folks to know is that we have a lending library at the Transit Community Center. I don't know if you've ever heard of those. I don't know the full history. I feel like it's something that started in England or maybe in Middle America, but it's these little They can look like whatever little schoolhouses or little boxes with a window on the front on what's like a mailbox pole.
Oh,
and
yeah.
They're called lending libraries. And it's one of those things where you take one, leave one. It's free. It's not regulated, really. It's just this fun, quaint, cute thing and encouraging people to read and share books. Huh. And so the Shelton Timberland Library, that was something that I think it's Patty Ross.
Yeah.
Before she left, had done and worked with Kathy at the Transit Community Center. And so when you're on Franklin and you're looking at the Transit Community Center, the front of it to the right is where the lending library is.
Okay.
It's painted red, almost like a old schoolhouse or a barn with a little white door on the front. And I know that I went and put about 5 or 6 books in there a week or two ago. So I don't, but Kathy says she sees people down there often taking a book and leaving books, and I think it kind of goes hand in hand with riding the bus.
Sure.
So what book? I put in a Shelton history book in there.
Classic.
Yes.
I mean, you gotta have that.
I put in a couple random strange zines that I had actually gotten up in Canada when I was traveling a couple years ago, because I figured, why not?
This could really open up some people's perspectives.
Yeah, I put something for everybody in there. And then one of my favorite authors that I'm into right now is Terry Pratchett. He writes fantasy, kind of sci-fi books. He's got a series, and they're both for young adults and older adults, I guess. But so lots of fun books in there. I think it's really
cool.
neat to have it down there. So for those that are also book lovers, go check it out.
Anything else going on with Mason Transit? Any alerts or anything?
Well, we had our public hearings, as you know. I had talked about that a couple weeks ago. Those went great. We had quite a few in attendance here in Shelton. Got some good feedback. We are moving forward with the proposed service changes. There was nothing where folks were like, nope, don't want to do this. We actually added a little bit more based off feedback, specifically Route 3. We had proposed to be serving the new Roy Bode Road parking area a couple times in the morning, and we're looking at actually adding a couple times in the afternoon too. So providing direct service, we had talked about that to that location for commuters that are using regular routes, and so it'll be going there during commuter times in the morning, starting about 5 or 6, and then again in the afternoon, picking up there. If you want to be dropped off, it is a call request or a tell the driver kind of thing.
Okay.
So we're picking up, but we're not automatically dropping off unless you let us know. So, and that does mean that the Capitol Mall was eliminated as a bus stop on Route 6. Folks can still get to the Capitol Mall. There's 2 ways. One would be riding Route 6. That's not the express, because it goes down Harrison Avenue in Olympia and you can get off. And if you happen to be somebody without mobility issues, you can walk the couple blocks to the mall. The other option is to ride the bus all the way downtown Olympia and meet up with an intercity transit bus and then ride over there. So that'll help us with our commuters that are making connections at the ends of the trip. So by shaving off a little bit of time going into the Capitol Mall, we can serve the other stops better and helps us with time efficiency. So, and then we did some tweaking for times on Route 5 and Route 7 and Route 1. Nothing major. It's all kind of minor stuff, but we're always trying to tweak things here and there and get better and better as much as possible.
If you have any questions about Mason Transit, one place that you can ask them is at this weekend's Taste of Hood Canal.
I'm so glad you brought that up. I almost forgot.
Well, I'm looking at your Twitter feed right now, and it says we'll be at the Taste of Hood Canal this weekend.
Yeah. Hey, I'm glad somebody's paying attention out there. Yes, we will. Same old shtick. We have fun with it. Wheel of Transit, glitter. We talked about that. So stop by the booth. You can ask me questions. You can learn new things about transit. We can help keep each other entertained on a good day. There's lots of good food up there. And there's a car show. Yeah. And last time I got placed next to a party bus that does brewery tours.
Hello.
I was wondering about it. I was like, hey, public transit, I don't know, kind of in the same industry, maybe.
Oh, man. So the Taste of Hood Canal is this weekend. Stop by, see Christina. You'll be there all day?
All day.
All right.
Bright and early.
Very nice. We got to get to the stock market. It's coming up here, but we'll talk next week again.
Have a good one, Jeff.
Thank you. And it is 8:28 at iFiber One News Radio. We'll be right back after this.
The Dave Ramsey Show. We're